Good afternoon, and I hope everybody's enjoying their lunch. So my name is Drew Garnett. I'm the Chaves County Extension Agent, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the New Mexico State University Youth Ranch Management Camp. And so this camp is 1 week a year in June, generally the second week of June. This year it's going to be June 9th through the 14th, and it is up in Cimarron, New Mexico on a working ranch at the CS Ranch. We're very thankful for their sponsorship and their support over the years and making sure that this program has continued. And so what the Youth Ranch Management Camp is at its core is a way to impart knowledge and information into the next generation of producers and individuals who are going to be working with livestock or have an interest in working with livestock. Now, not every youth that goes through there ends up being a rancher or producer or even necessarily working within livestock, but they get exposed to it in a real hands-on and practical way. And so 30 youth from New Mexico, all over the U.S., and last year we actually had some international students, and it looks like we're going to have a couple again this year. And so 27 of those spots are reserved for New Mexico youth. And then there are 3 open spots for out of state and international. Now, there is a cost involved, and it's $400 a youth that they'll have to put forward in order to attend the camp. However, that should never be a deterrent for a youth that wants to go. And the reason I say that, there are so many entities that are willing to support youth to go and do something like this. And so one place that we really go to a lot here in Chaves County, when we have Chaves County youth, our soil and water conservation districts locally are extremely excited about getting these youth there. And so providing a scholarship, as long as the youth is willing to go and talk to the soil and water conservation districts and tell them about this program, why they want to be on it, generally them and there's others. I mean, there's so many different industry leaders in your community, in my community, that can support youth. And so this is really a fantastic program for youth who are interested in livestock production or anything livestock related. And so I'm going to go through a quick rundown of what happens on each day. And all of this information is available on the website. If anybody is interested in it, if they just throw into the Google search NMSU Youth Ranch Management Camp, it will come up, and there's a ton of great information on the website, a lot more than we'll be able to go through here in this 10 minutes. But so the first day is all things beef. And so it is a crash course. And the first thing they start out with is actually breaking down a beef carcass that will actually feed those youth and everybody involved throughout the week. So we'll be eating that beef that they help break down. And so that's one of the first things that they get to do. Great experience, really great facility there in Raton that we work with. And then once we do that at the slaughter facility there in Raton, excuse me, and then we go back to the camp, and we have a lot of specialists who come and talk about nutrition, genetics, reproduction, and really the decision making and hands-on experience within those aspects and how they're going to affect the end product, which is your livestock, what you're going to be selling and taking to market, right? And then so we spend a lot of time there. They really get a lot of hands-on on the repro, on the nutrition, about how the rumen works, and also consumer awareness. And this is something that we're really seeing across the board, across the world, is people are very interested in where their food comes from. And so learning about how consumers want to know about their food and how that food is raised, about animal care and welfare through proper handling techniques, and they'll get hands-on training in that. And then also they'll learn the tenets of beef quality assurance, which is a program that is geared towards producers getting certified in beef quality assurance as a consumer assurance program. And so what it is training on proper antibiotic, proper vaccine usage in livestock. And then, of course, resource management to ensure sustainability and animal nutrition. Estimate forage production. You know, the joke always with ranchers is that, yes, their product that they take to market is a cattle, but they're really grass farmers, right? And so managing that land. And so estimating forage production and how that affects your stocking rates on your land. And so there's a lot of information, and that's just day one. And so day two is the one that, you know, at least for me, there's always some individuals that love it, but is marketing and economics. So this is the day that you can struggle with a little bit, but it is so critical and so important in learning how to make your ranch profitable. Because at the end of the day, if you're not making money on your ranch, you're not going to maintain that ranch. And so it's the payday of the ranch operation. And so establishing economic baselines, how to develop their economic plan on cow-calf operation, budgeting, goal setting, other aspects of planning and managing for profit, because you, again, need to make a profit in order to maintain that land, the ranch, and the operation. And so really learning about the process of bringing livestock to market, the different markets that are available to you, different niche markets that you could potentially get into, and all about making that plan and that decision based off your own personal ranch and your plan and what you want out of your production setting. So a really great day, a whole lot of information. And so really, really important, and one that it can be, you know, sometimes overlooked in certain situations. Now, day three is the natural resources and wildlife. So this is something that maybe not everybody thinks about, but the youth learn about the fundamentals of natural resource management and ecology. So within a ranch, it's a whole habitat ecosystem that is not just benefiting the livestock that we're wanting to take to market, but it's also benefiting wildlife. It's benefiting a whole lot of different systems. So they learn about riparian zones, woodlands, the wildlife that are benefiting from their or hurting from their management decisions. And so that this is where we really cover those natural resources and the wildlife aspect of it, and also how to incorporate that into maybe more economic benefit for your particular setup in your production. And so that could be utilizing wildlife tags that are available for private landowners that are managing their land for wildlife, that it benefits wildlife. There are actually tags available for landowners for that purpose, to where they can sell those tags as added revenue and income, or utilizing wood. So some of the forest areas, by thinning some of the wood, you can take that, sell it as firewood. You can sell it as other products or things of that nature. But also managing the land as the natural resource to keep it a functioning, working land and natural resource. And so you really want to think about utilizing fire or, sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but utilizing prescribed fire to control pests, or managing brush and things like that, because that's going to benefit your livestock production. I think there was a study that I think Casey Spackman quotes it, is like if you have 25% cedar coverage on the landscape, you get a 50% reduction in moisture that's coming down to the actual soil. That's going to benefit grass and growth in that regard, whereas it's getting caught up inside the cedar and then getting lost that way. So managing the brush on your landscape is extremely important. Now, here in the Southeast, you know, if you have just 5% coverage of mesquite on your property within an area, prairie chickens won't utilize it. And so, it really does impact and affect more than just your livestock. It also affects the wildlife and how they utilize it. So that's just day 3. And then day 4, you're learning about the range. So again, going back to that joke that ranchers are all about managing that grass. So you're a grass farmer and you're utilizing that grass as your food source for your livestock. And so you learn about grass production year in, year out, and that is your management focus based on what the land is producing. And so without the grass, there's no feed for your animals to be sold. Otherwise, you're having to bring in extra feed. And so responsible management and harvest of grass for sustainable production profit is the main goal, right? So you want to maintain that grass on your landscape. You can't overgraze it or you will completely decimate the land. And so plant ID, brush and weed control again, basics of range management, ranch planning, and that kind of goes into your grazing management, things like that, and rangeland monitoring. So how to visibly inspect and evaluate the landscape for those stocking rates and for utilization of the grass. And so species composition, ecological function, drought, grazing, fire, species grazing interactions. So the interactions between your livestock and horses or wildlife, things like that, and how all of this affects the rangeland. And so that's day 4. So this is a very serious, hardcore crash course in all things livestock production. And so that's in 4 days. We go through all of that. And on day 5, this is where they put all that information that they've learned together and present it. And so on day 1, those youth are actually broken up into teams. And those teams have to come up and develop a management plan based on a hypothetical scenario or ranch. And generally, it's based on various sections of the CS Ranch in the past because that's where we are hosting this program. And so on day 5, they actually present their management plans to a panel of judges comprised of specialists, ranchers, and industry leaders who are well versed in livestock production. And the judges will rank the teams based on their production management and their particular management plans. And the winning team will receive belt buckles, but then also they will be brought back and introduced at the joint stockman's meeting that is every December. And so it's a really, really great opportunity. But another thing to help encourage participation each and every day is we have what's called the Top Hand Award, and that's every single evening. Usually 2 individuals are selected each day as the top hands, and it's based on their participation throughout the day. How involved were they with the discussions? How often were they asking questions? How much interest were they showing? Things like that. If they're just sitting back in the back and keeping their head down, we're trying to encourage that participation. So we are looking for the top hands each day. And so those are really great incentives and really cool things. But this program last year was actually my first year helping. And so I wasn't 100% sure of what to expect, but it was phenomenal. It was absolutely fantastic. You see these youth grow and develop, and they come from a wide range of backgrounds. We had some that were from urban zones that had very limited knowledge of livestock production or ranching in general. And then we had youth who grew up on a ranch, who are looking to take over the family ranch down the road. And so you're bringing all of these diversity of ideas and thoughts and experiences together, getting them this really great information that they can utilize in a real applicable way and take this back to the ranch or help them determine if this is the direction in which they want to go as far as pursuing ranching or livestock production or something within that industry. And it really is, since my time being here at New Mexico State, employed again with Extension, this is one of the best programs I think I've been a part of. And so for all of the agents out there that are watching this, I apologize I can't be there live, but I do want to say encourage your youth to apply for this. So the time to apply for it has closed. Generally, we're opening it March 1st and then running through April 15th is when it closes. And so the deadline to apply has passed for this year. However, all of your high school age youth that are in your 4-H programs, if you're working with FFA teams or FFA programs in your counties, encourage those high schoolers to apply for this. And if they don't succeed in making the 30, have them apply the next year. And so it really is a great program. I highly encourage it. It's something that really is you really see a growth and development within these youth as they go through this program. You really see a lot of the dots connecting across the board. You see these individuals who came from ranching backgrounds see things that they want to take back to their own family ranch. And you also see you see them even bring into the conversation things that they're doing on their own production systems that would be beneficial for their plans, their management plans, or just really great discussion topics within. And so it really is a fantastic program. I can't speak highly enough of the Youth Ranch Management camp, and that is one reason why I pursued being a part of it and wanting to help continue to work it and keep it going. And so if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or Sid Gordon or Jack Blanford. And really, it is a great program, and I highly encourage all the agents to encourage this within their own programs as another resource, as another educational tool for those youth to go about. And really, do not let the money issue be an issue that keeps anyone from it, because there are so many great programs, so many great partners out there that we can work with to get those scholarships. There are a lot of people in this industry, in this community, that really are excited about youth and the development of youth and promoting that. So on that note, make sure to get your kids applying.